So, today's video is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Go to expressvpn.com/dimension and get 3 months free on a year-long subscription. So, welcome back to the Second Dimension. My name is Jonathan, and today I'm here with the creator of Musical Without a Cool Acronym.
It's such an uncool acronym that when you try to say it, you just sort of regurgitate the word. Danteable Ferumbi Povenmire, I think, is the official pronunciation.
So the creator of Danteable from Danteable.
Can't even say that either.
Andrew.
Hi, I'm Andrew Grabowski. I wrote Musical Without a Cool Acronym, but that's not why I'm here right now.
No, we're here to tell you about Phineas's real dad. Now, there's a lot of theories as to who Phineas's real dad might be. I know Doofenshmirtz has been thrown out there a lot, even though Dan has confirmed that that's not true so many times. But that's not important, because today we're going to be looking at these characters through the lens of, could they actually be Phineas's biological father? But even if it's impossible for them to be Phineas's biological father, how good of a father would they be for Phineas? So, the first one we have on our list is Danteable Ferumbi himself, the insert character of Phineas and Ferb. I think I put him on here because he's like Phineas's metaphorical father in that sort
He's the creator of Phineas.
Right. What do you think?
You know, we see Dan acting as a father on his TikTok quite a bit. He's got what are his kids, Melissa and Isabella.
That's true.
And from my understanding, most of the videos involve him deliberately ignoring them as they try to get his attention and be in the TikTok. So it stands to reason that if he was Phineas's biological father, he might deliberately ignore Phineas.
Oof.
Just want to quickly stress, I think Dan Povenmire is probably a very good father. This is a meme. Yeah, I'd say maybe not so bad.
Not so bad a dad, because yeah. All right, he would nurture Phineas's talent for invention, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He would be like,
yeah,
Phineas, I'm not putting you on my own TikTok. Go make your own.
He'd be like, yeah, exactly. Don't ride the coattails of my fame.
Yeah. All right, I'm good with that as a start. Middle of the road.
Yeah. All right, next we have Dinkleberg
from the Fairly Odd Parents.
And this one is largely because of the shape of his nose. Much like Phineas, his nose extends all the way down. I'll confess, I haven't seen Fairly Odd Parents. Do you have any more experience with the show than I do?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I grew up on the Fairly Odd Parents. So Dinkleberg, if you're unfamiliar, is the Turner's next door neighbor. So Timmy Turner's dad, who I believe is just named Dad, has a rivalry with Dinkleberg. Dinkleberg doesn't do anything wrong. He just is like successful, and that's why Timmy's dad hates him. If something goes wrong, he always goes Dinkleberg. But I think that puts some points in his favor of possibly being related to Phineas, because nothing ever goes wrong for him.
That's true.
And nothing goes wrong for Phineas either.
Maybe it's the Dinkleberg effect.
That's the next crossover. That said, I feel like if we're speaking to quality of like father, of like being a father, I think Dinkleberg's probably a pretty bad parent. He's always like, my lawn is great and I have a trophy wife, but I couldn't see him like ever like teaching his kid a life lesson, you know?
All right, so we have, like, as far as like conceptually, he's very similar, but as a dad, he wouldn't be a great dad. So
yeah,
you want to put him in F tier?
Sure. I'll put him in F tier.
All right.
I think that Timmy Turner's dad would be happy that we're putting him down so low.
Too materialistic for Phineas, whose inventions disappear and he's not attached to them.
Right. It's about having fun.
Yeah. All right, now we come to a big one. This is Heinz Doofenshmirtz. There's a lot of baggage attached to the theory of Doofenshmirtz as Phineas's dad.
Yeah. I mean, despite however many times Dan comes out on record explaining that it's impossible for Heinz to be Phineas's father because he only went on one date with Linda and it went terribly. This theory will never leave the internet.
It won't, just like Candace's diary.
Yeah, Candace is schizophrenic and none of this is real. So what are the, honestly, so we have a rule in the M.W.C.A server not to talk about Doof being Phineas's dad, so I've almost forgotten all of the points that people make. It's like the triangle head and the inventing, right?
Right. Those are the two big combinations, and the fact that he went on one date with Linda, even though they never saw each other again because it was terrible. But
yeah. See, the implications of that are even if it somehow went well, that would mean Candace is not Phineas's full sister because it was just the one date.
Which
so
we know isn't true. Or she is his full sister.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, we see I think if we're just talking about quality of being a dad, I think Doof is a pretty good dad. Or at least, in Vanessa's words, not so bad. He's oblivious. Just like Phineas, he doesn't always know what his kids want, but like when he has to come through for Vanessa, he always does. So
I'd say pretty good. I mean,
pretty
like
good.
He would nurture Phineas's talent. I mean, like we see in Across the Second Dimension, like he and Phineas working on the other Dimensionator together, like they have such shared interests. I feel like maybe if he had Phineas too, he wouldn't be as evil. I don't know.
See, I was thinking the opposite. I was thinking if he could nurture Phineas, like he might actually be successful with his evil schemes and become like legitimately evil.
True. Evil Phineas AU. Please tell me that's the next Phineas and Ferb movie.
I'm sure somebody's written that fanfic somewhere.
What if the AU movie Dan was talking about is the third movie they were talking about for Disney Plus was like Doofenshmirtz and Perry were like the good guys of the storyline, and Phineas and Ferb were the ones trying to accomplish an evil scheme.
Yo, yeah, I always that was always interesting that was like a direction they never really went into. I mean, they had Darth Ferb in the one episode, but more often than not, Phineas and Ferb weren't antagonists. Anyway, Doof. I would say pretty good dad. I hate to put him that high because I don't want to validate the fans who think that this is real. But if we're just evaluating him as a dad, I would say he's pretty good.
All right. Next, we have the legendary Guy Fieri. Or is it Fieri? I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it.
I think it's Fieri, but I can't really say that all that well. So I'll call him Fieri.
Guy Fieri.
Guy, if you're listening, sorry for butchering your name.
This theory became popular on TikTok when somebody pointed out some little notes from his episode of Take Two with Phineas and Ferb.
Forgot he was on that. I thought the whole Guy Fieri meme was just like pulled out of nowhere.
So this is the Guy Fieri evidence. We'll see if this changes our thoughts.
Okay. Ferb has confirmed that Doofenshmirtz is not Phineas's dad, but I have figured out who is. I have gone through the internet to find every single piece of released Phineas and Ferb media, and I have a final 100% definitive answer to the question. Phineas's dad is none other than Guy Fieri, who exists in the Phineas and Ferb canon because Phineas and Ferb interviewed him in their Take Two show. This sounds weird, but I have irrefutable evidence. We know that Phineas's mom was a celebrity, so it makes sense that she would date someone who was also famous. This parentage would also explain why Phineas has pointy hair when Linda doesn't. And for irrefutable proof, all we have to do is watch their interview. I do the dishes. I'm the dad. And Disney themselves know they made a mistake by revealing this. Guy Fieri's episode of Take Two is not available on Disney Plus. They didn't want us to find out about it.
So he has not denied the fact that Guy Fieri is Phineas's father.
I think the "I'm the dad" quote is pretty
I'm
condemning.
The dad. Why would he say that if he wasn't referring to the fact that he is Phineas's biological father?
That's the only thing he could mean.
Yeah. I would argue that Phineas and Ferb's inventions are always full of flavor, and that's got to come from somewhere, you know.
That's true.
Part of me wants to go for True Dad just for the meme factor.
I can see it.
I can't think of another one that I would rather put in True Dad. I mean, okay, Lawrence is on here, but like, Lawrence is not as meme-tastic.
All right, Guy Fieri, you get True Dad status, and that, like, if Shea Platypus is a Guy Fieri restaurant, beautiful.
This video has just gone to Flavortown.
That's right. All right, next up we have Iron Man. Iron Man, the potential is, I think, obviously he's a playboy philanthropist.
Playboy billionaire philanthropist.
That's right. And he also, he knows about Danville. He's voiced by Adrian Padsar, who's Melissa Chase's dad. I forgot to put Melissa Chase's dad on here.
Oh,
the people with
doesn't
that
Melissa
theory.
Chase have two dads, or am I making that up?
No, she's just like single parent as far
Got
as
it.
yeah.
Got it. See, I feel like Tony Stark is just like a more cynical Phineas. Like the connection is definitely there. Also, like the beak is like obviously I think inspired by Iron Man or these superheroes in general.
Yeah.
I could see it being a thing. We've seen Tony be a dad in Avengers Endgame, where he like basically stopped trying to save the world to try to be a good dad, which would put him in a good dad tier, even though it was very selfish of him in that movie to not try to save half of existence. Yeah, my heart says pretty good dad. You can disagree with me.
I'd say not. Like I feel like Phineas would struggle with abandonment because he would just not care about his son.
Ooh,
Like
yeah, that's true.
during the times when he does nurture him, like he does with Spider-Man, like it would be good.
He would just get like Friday to like teach Phineas things for him instead of spending time with Phineas directly.
Yeah. Do you think he's better than Dinkleberg? Yeah.
Better than Dinkleberg, but yeah, I'm satisfied with not so bad a
All
dad
right,
tier.
we're gonna put not so bad at that. All right, now we got Pinhead Pierre.
Yeah.
This is the OG fandom theory. Lawrence loved Pinhead Pierre's show. It's the shape of the triangle. Do you know any of the evidence for this one?
Very little other than that he is shaped like a triangle. Is there more?
There might be. We should have done research before going into
I thought you were about to tell me. You're just like, oh, do you know? Because I don't.
No.
Well, okay. What's the era that Pinhead Pierre suggested to be from? I feel like it's based on shows from what, like the 60s, probably.
Yeah.
Which would mean that he would have had to have, and he was already an adult during the time that the show was coming out. So Phineas is 10 years old in the mid 2000s. Pinhead Pierre probably would have had to be like 50 or 60 by the time that he has Phineas, which to me seems unlikely. It's not impossible.
Yeah. I agree with the unlikeliness of that theory.
And well, I don't know. Is Pinhead Pierre still alive? Like, is he alive in the Phineas and Ferb universe, or is this like a deceased actor?
He's probably deceased. I mean, we don't.
Was he in Carpe Diem?
He was in Carpe Diem,
But so was like 80s Love Handle. So I don't know if that's canon.
That's true. Well, no, because I think Love Handle was in their newer form.
You might be right. Okay, I guess the question, I don't know whether Pinhead Pierre is dead or not. I don't. That should be the title of the video. Pinhead Pierre dies? Question. I'd say it's probably unlikely that he's Phineas's dad. If he somehow was, I think he'd probably be a pretty good father figure in terms of just like sparking creativity.
Yeah.
But I think he loses points for it being unlikely.
All right. So let's. He inspires creativity. He's good. Not so bad.
Yeah, sure.
Not so bad.
Not so bad.
All right.
It's hard to reach Hines or Guy.
Yeah, you can't reach those levels. All right, next we have Bill Cipher. This one came about obviously because the triangle.
Oh yeah.
And also, he's a mad demon who loves to take on proteges.
Yeah. I'll be honest. My Gravity Falls knowledge is probably not nearly as extensive as yours.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times. Bill's like one of my favorite villains.
I just learned he's a villain.
Oh, you didn't know he was a villain. All right.
No, that's okay. I've seen like 3 episodes.
I think he gets the abandonment king because
you think so?
He absolutely, if he had a kid, he would either try to kill them or just like he's not a good dad,
right?
By any stretch.
Well, is the town in Gravity Falls called Gravity Falls?
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, if he was Phineas's dad, like obviously he left Danville years ago and he just spends his time there.
Yeah.
So that's not really a lot of raising going on.
I mean, and technically he's from another dimension, so maybe he's like Phineas's dad in a different dimension.
Okay. Is he second dimension Phineas's father?
Second dimension Phineas's father, in which case still Abandonment King, because he left Danville to be ruled by second dimension Doof. Maybe second dimension Doof was under Bill.
That would maybe
theory.
did Bill Cipher take the choo-choo train from second dimension Doof? Is that why it went missing?
True theory. There's gonna be people in the
confirm this, Swampy.
There's gonna be people in the comments like, how do you not know all the evidence for these theories? There's so much more.
We didn't do any research for this.
No, we really didn't. Next we have Major Monogram.
Major Francis Monogram from the O.W.C.A.
And that's who you play in M.W.C.A.
Yeah.
As somebody who's pretty in tune with the character, do you think child abandonment is something that he would subscribe to?
I mean, he already kind of does that with Monty. Like, I don't know. He's not a horrible father in the episodes where we see Monty, but it's kind of like Friends, where like he has a kid that he just forgets about for 95% of the episodes. I'll be honest, like if Monogram did have a second kid and it was Phineas, I don't think that would change anything about him, because he just wouldn't think about him. I'd be willing to go F tier, probably.
F tier. All right. I would agree with that. I mean, it's possible because, like, I mean, you hear, but he's always like, I'm going to Vegas, and I'm like I don't know. Stuff could happen with him.
That would also open up weird implications that, like, he wouldn't be willing to spend time with Phineas himself, but he interacts with Phineas's pet platypus all the time. Like, that would just make it extra spiteful.
It really would. And they actually do interact in the series. They talk at the end of Second Dimension.
That's
briefly.
That's true.
But he would.
I think they might. I think in some of the like season 3, like other time period episodes, they might interact a couple times too.
Oh, and Undercover Carl, I think too.
Yes.
Yeah, Monogram coming out of the basement is very rare.
It happens. It's been known to happen. Oh, Lawrence Fletcher.
Yeah. So this, the theory that the step family isn't real. There was no.
There's a theory that he's just the biological father.
He's just biological.
Oh, see, I'd be willing to put Lawrence in the true dad category, but not for that reason. like I call him a true dad as in the sense that being biologically related to somebody is not the most important thing, and you can have a parental figure who's not genetically related to you, who's just as or more so a real parental figure. But if we're evaluating true on the basis of like genetically related, I don't think I like that theory very much.
I think we can go off the basis of just as Phineas's parent in general. We don't have to subscribe to the non-step family.
Just trying to think what that would mean. Like, he would have had to like conceive Phineas with Linda and then move back to London with Ferb, who was born around the same time, maybe, and then come back like during their mid-childhood, so that Ferb has an accent and Phineas doesn't.
That's a bit of a stretch. I say he goes with Guy Fieri.
Yeah. The theory is F tier, but as a dad, he's true dad too.
He's true dad, and he sits with his kids and he watches Horse in a Bookcase. He enjoys
and Pinhead Pierre.
Exactly.
Who he killed to cover up the fact that he is not Phineas's dad.
All right. Next we have, this is just the art from the RoundTable thumbnail asking who Phineas's dad is.
Wait, was this drawn by a Phineas and Ferb artist?
No, they might have been a Phineas and Ferb. I don't know. They have a thumbnail artist who basically drew this.
But this is like OC.
Yeah, this is like an OC. We don't know anything about his character. I think the speculation in the video was like he's some sort of like architect, kind of like Milo's mom. Kind of like very classy, smart. He's got blueprints.
Yeah.
Like realistically, and then instead of the 3 dots on the forehead, they're on like his chin is like freckles.
Yeah. As much as I don't want to be like give a whole lot of credence to somebody else being Phineas's real dad. I do think if we're speaking realistically, that probably would be something along those lines, like somebody who has that creative spark in him and is smart and kind.
Yeah.
That said, if he's real, he certainly abandoned Phineas. I mean, we don't know the full story. Like, maybe
we don't.
He lives in a different country. Maybe he had another kid with Linda, and he takes care of the other kid. But
it's quite possible. I say we go with F tier because he's obviously not nurturing Phineas.
Yeah.
At this point, if he realistically
he's nurturing that blueprint more than he's nurturing Phineas.
Very true. All right, next we have Stan Pines. I know you also still haven't seen Gravity Falls.
Yeah. This is Grunkle Stan.
Yes, Grunkle Stan.
Is that what he's called? Yeah.
As far as the theory goes, I don't know if there's much evidence to this one at all, especially with all of the Stan and Ida theories going around on Twitter right now about, because part of the lore is that he was like married once for like a day and then he got divorced.
Oh.
And so people are saying that's Ida from the Owl House now.
So for the one day he was married, it was to Linda. Is that the theory?
That also wouldn't work because it would mean Phineas and Candace wouldn't be biological siblings. And he would also never see them again. So yeah, I think we put him with Bill and Abandonment King.
That's just the Gravity Falls cheer.
Gravity Falls.
There's gonna be Gravity Falls fans watching this, and they'll hit the dislike button.
Just for that.
But
honestly, I can't see Stan he's a con artist. He's
yeah. I think he'd be more likely to be Buford's father. I think.
There we go. If he's Buford's father, that's true, Dad.
Because we never see Buford's dad, do we? We only see Biffany.
That's right. We only see his mom.
Yeah.
We barely see Baljit's dad. He only appears like twice.
Oh yeah, he's like in the background of some shots.
Yeah. Last one. This was one that you recommended we add to the list. Knuckles. So tell me.
Okay.
What's your theory for this?
I have a series of reasons, and I need you to hear me out and give this absolute, genuine seriousness. So first of all, just going off of the anatomy, spiky red hair. We see Knuckles. He's got the spiky red locks. You know who else has the spiky red locks? Phineas.
Phineas, that's it.
Yep. He's got a pointy nose. As an echidna, he's a mammal. Phineas, also a mammal.
Whoa, that's hard to deny.
But wait, it goes further than that. Are you at all familiar with the Sonic games?
No, I know like nothing. I played Sonic on Leapster, like literally when I was a kid. That's the only Sonic exposure I've had.
Well, yeah, Knuckles. He's just like another character, like kind of similar to Sonic, but you know, he's got some different abilities. He in the 3D games, they started making it so characters had different musical themes, and Knuckles was always rap. So my next point is that both Knuckles and Phineas, while you may not think it just looking at them, they both are avid enjoyers of rap music. Because Phineas, we see he participates in Spa Day and Tatooine, and you know he likes the rap and hip hop. So does Knuckles. Obviously, there's something there. In the 1999 Sonic the Hedgehog anime film, Knuckles wears a cowboy hat. And in Summer Belongs to You, there is a throwaway line where Phineas says that he is thinking about getting a cowboy hat. Why else would this thought pop into his brain unless there was the genetic connection?
That is irrefutable.
Yeah.
Right there.
And my last point, hear me out. This one's a little bit longer. It was just announced that in the new Sonic the Hedgehog film, Knuckles has been cast as Idris Elba.
I did hear about that.
Yeah, which is, first of all, kind of amazing. But Idris Elba was also in The Jungle Book, directed by Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau wrote the 2009 rom-com Couples Retreat, which starred a Puerto Rican actor named Carlos Ponce. And Carlos Ponce was in the 2005 film Deuce Bigalow European Gigolo with none other than Vincent Martell. And therefore, I rest my case that clearly Knuckles the Echidna from Sonic must be Phineas's dad.
I'm convinced. I don't know a lot about Knuckles, but like I feel like he's like super chill. Like I feel like he'd be a pretty good dad if he was Phineas's dad.
Yeah.
There's enough connections. Like I don't think he would be F tier or abandonment. He'd be better than Monogram.
I mean, he's very busy protecting the Master Emerald. That's like the other lore, which by the way has like time travel abilities. And there's another theory that like the reason the summer lasts more than 104 days is like because of the emerald from the Sonic universe. And by other theories, I mean things I'm making up as I'm talking. Yeah, the only reason I wouldn't put him in True Dad tier is because there's a line in one of Knuckles' songs that says, "You can call me Knuckles. Unlike Sonic, I don't chuckle. I'd rather flex my knuckles." And Phineas does chuckle sometimes, whereas Knuckles never does. So I think for that alone, maybe yeah, I would say one below the highest tier is good.
Yeah. All right. I think that is a pretty good tier list. You got them pretty evenly sorted out.
Yeah, that worked out better than I was expecting.
But actually, you know what? While we're still here, let's look up the Pinhead Pierre theory evidence.
Okay.
So no chin, pointy head,
he does not even have a chin.
Floating eyebrows, big nose. That's a bit of a stretch. Let's see. When you think about it, it can all be justified. They both have quite a pointed head on top. If Phineas were bald, he would actually look a bit like Pierre. Candace's head is a
okay,
pin,
now that I'm looking
subtler.
at front-facing Phineas, like he does look a lot more like Pinhead Pierre.
True.
I don't think Candace has as much of a resemblance. She's just an AirPod.
You may be asking, with facial structures, how does that prove anything? She was an 80s pop star, and Pierre was a popular children's show host. Both, again, the celebrities argument.
Right. But yeah, like I'm pretty sure that Pinhead Pierre is supposed to be based on like Pee Wee Herman, right? Or like shows from around that era.
Yeah. Why would Pinhead Pierre, the man who inspired millions of children to take an interest in superheroes and magic carpets, leave Linda? He didn't. He died.
Wait, we're not the only ones to come up with the fact that Pierre died.
If Pierre died shortly before or after Phineas's birth, that would leave enough time for Linda to have married Lawrence and created the Flynn Fletcher family as we know it today. And his death would have also led to Lawrence being the Pinhead Pierre paraphernalia person. He grieved the loss of his favorite childhood series as host.
Oh my gosh.
And that's what they bonded over, was the fact that he died. That's
gotta be a little odd though, right? Like if Lawrence is a huge fan of Pinhead Pierre, who he knows was his wife's first love, like those are big shoes to fill.
Those are big shoes to fill.
No pun intended. Big... Wow.
I think that solidifies the well, actually, you know, if he died, like
if he died, that doesn't make him a bad father.
No, it doesn't. He would probably end up, but I think what you're saying is like he was from the 60s, not from the 80s. Well, I guess no, because if Lawrence is like in his 40s, then he would have had to have been born in like I guess the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, that's when Lawrence would have to be born. But like it's implied that Pinhead Pierre was already on the air when Lawrence was a kid.
Right.
Which means this guy is at least probably 20 years older than Lawrence. Which again, people can have kids in their 60s. It's not the most likely.
I don't know. Do you think he keeps his spot?
I'd be okay to bump him up to pretty good.
All right, we'll bump him up to pretty good. He's if he died,
it's not his fault he died.
No,
probably.
No. All right, so now we've actually taken a look at the evidence for the theory to finalize our list.
Except for the Gravity Falls ones.
I honestly, I don't remember ever seeing any truly detailed explanation as to the possibility of either of those. So they're going to stay in the abandonment category.
Mm-hmm. I'm happy with this list.
Yeah, I think Guy Fieri as True Dad works.
Well, this has been a blast. Thank you for running through this very serious, intense canonical discussion with me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for coming onto the show and
absolutely
being able to do this. Of course, it's your turn to plug. Tell us about M.W.C.A. and where people can watch it.
Yes, so I wrote, directed, and produced a Phineas and Ferb parody musical called Musical Without a Cool Acronym. We had a giant cast of it was cast and crew combined, about 50 people from 5 different countries. It was this whole huge production that we did for months over Zoom and Discord, and then we edited the whole thing together. And it's like this big 2.5-hour show. You can find it on the Musical Without a Cool Acronym YouTube channel. There's lots of Phineas and Ferb songs and songs that are parodies of musical theater and some fun guest appearances. And Jonathan's in it. He plays Mort Schaefer in the ensemble. There's some there's a little bit of love for the other Dwampy-verse franchises in there too. So check that out. It is out now.
YouTube.com/M.W.C.A musical.
Correct.
And if people want to follow you, they can find you.
I'm at Nachos Rule, Nachos spelled with a Z, on pretty much all platforms, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, things like that.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and we will see you back in Dimension 1. Special thanks again to Andrew for joining me to do this video. This was a lot of fun, and thank you to ExpressVPN for becoming my very first channel affiliate. So if you do want to try out ExpressVPN, if you've been thinking about getting a VPN for a while, they're definitely the one to go to, and if you use my link, expressvpn.com/dimension, you'll get 3 months free when you buy the year-long subscription. It's a great deal, and honestly, it really helps the channel out. If you watched this far, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I talk about Phineas and Ferb and all sorts of other cartoons on here, so you're bound to like it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.